Hello, this is a quick standalone video. That's quick question and answers. Ideally, it's best to listen to the whole 11-part series first, because this would deal with questions and answers about related things. So yeah, please do watch the video series first. It acts as the introduction to the topic. Now, the the first thing, the next coming reign of peace, supposedly, as there's plans right now. Like I said earlier, plans change all the time. Not everything is set in stone, but there's some generalities that are certainly planned. There's a lot of specifics that are planned as well as to how to go about this and that. But okay, skipping to it. Asia, the economic powerhouse of the coming future. It was, as I mentioned, planned to have that, let them have that. I mean, they've worked really hard to get it, and they're really, the finances are not the most important thing in the world. It's the learning and education that is. And so, yeah, the plan was to just let them have it. But after some of the things they've done recently, and by I mean recently, not like in the last day or two, I mean last few years, or longer. I mean, it takes our side, the eternal side, a long time to debate things and finally make decisions sometimes. And other times they make it spur of the moment. But yeah, it was determined that basically that would not be a good thing. There's a number of reasons behind this, but even when you take out the most evil and the most powerful people and leave it to the others, still there's just not enough of a sense of community with the rest of the world to really think that they'd be fair enough with the rest of the world to I mean, look at what's happened in the States. There's various factions amongst different Asian countries that are really willing to just come in and displace the people of the United States, take their land, take everything, and just not really even care. When you take the whole thing about the California farmland, for example, if you weren't aware of it, there had been in the past, recent past, an effort to create an artificial drought, so that you drive the farmers off the land, so you can switch the property from one owner to another. Basically, get overseas owners now, and then you bring back the water and let them farm. Their willingness to take part in schemes like that is not something that needs to be rewarded. It just doesn't. And there's other schemes that are on the burner as well that just can't be allowed to go past a certain point. And so, ultimately, ideally, I mean, you take the U.S. and Europe and its middle class is one of the things that I've consistently shown as an example for what is done right. And you could say, well, why not South America? They work really hard down there. Well, that's true. That's true. However, they also seem to be victims of a lot of financial pressures that aren't the people's fault. And the people themselves, as nice as many of them are, have to work too hard to really be able to build up as much as they could have if they weren't forced to work so hard. And I visited there. The people are nice, but it's not the same as certain things in the States. The widespread amount of opportunity isn't there as much as it could be or should be. That's not the ideal. And so what needs to happen is they need to, in the next coming reign of peace, they need to be given better help financially, and they need to not be picked on financially to ensure that they're just going to be the lower people on the totem pole. I mean, let's face it, the United States is powerful. It shoves others out of its way, and that's why that the people here have a better opportunity. It's not good morally that the leaders are doing that, but It gave an opportunity for certain things to flourish that will spread. And so you take South America, and it's going to have, frankly, a lot better financial opportunities than it does right now. Is it going to be the powerhouse? No. No, but it certainly needs to be given a lot better financial opportunities and a lot more opportunities where time as a resource to let the people um, have the me time, the time to think and ponder and really reflect and build up, where they can do soul searching time more than what they have now. And of course, they have time. They have lots of things that they can do, and that's fun. But they need more of it, and they need less financial pressure. I mean, there's a lot of really, really amazing things that they've done despite the pressure, and a lot of amazing people there. But they are going to get the help they need. Might be a little slower than they like getting there, but it will come. Okay, so basically around the world you get the poorer places are going to get help, and it just needs to happen so that not just South America but all over the world, that anybody that living in a place that they have to work too hard, they don't get enough breaks, they financially get the burden, you're going to get help. The things you're going to get more fair, and the rich countries are not going to be able to be allowed to just literally shove you down just so that they can stay up top. I mean, it's not going to be like the perfect utopia by any means. It's not. The coming reign of peace is not going to be a utopia. It's going to be very normal. But there's certain extreme things that are going on now that do need to be curbed. Otherwise, the wars and violence will just continue despite the changes to genetics and to organization and removal of the baddest of the bad. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Now, other questions, and I know this is going to be sort of random video of questions and answers. The question about, okay, well, what about the flat Earth? People, come on. Do we really have to go into that one? No, there's no flat Earth. It is misinformation, disinformation. It is something that is just, I mean, come on. No, there is no flat Earth. It's round. Next. Okay. Question. What about the moon? Did we go to the moon, or is that a conspiracy? Well, the answer is yes. Yes, we did go to the moon, and yes, it's a conspiracy. If you look around the internet, you can find some of the plans that we had for the moon. There were going to be bases, military bases on the moon. The plans to militarize the moon, gain control over it, that was absolutely there. 100%. You can even see some of the drawings. I don't believe all of the plans are out in public still, even to this day, but a lot of them are, and you could see it. And this was the truth. That was the truth. We were going there for military purposes. It was not just a plan to, have a nice face of a nice little rocket program so that you can bankrupt the Soviet Union into trying to follow an expensive thing. No. The thing is, we had ships that could go there much more quick and much more affordably than the rocket program, the Apollo program. We did. I mean, as you know, there's the Roswell things, there's the backward engineered stuff, and after World War II, with some of the technology that the Germans had with UFOs, which I'll explain later. We got ships that could get there to the moon safely and quickly and affordably. And the thing is, well, why did we go through this whole space program with rockets then? Well, because, of course, obviously you're not going to put the black ops programs out in public, but you do need a a public presence on the moon. You need to have something that everybody knows that we're there, and then you can have the black ops sort of take a public base and turn it privately, into a lot more secret stuff that no one knows or is told about. And so, yeah, the moon program was designed as the face of a much more devious plan. A plan like look at Star Wars. I mean, between Star Wars and Star Trek and other media, there's been a lot of drip feeding of stuff, but the Death Star in particular. Yeah, the moon is not a Death Star, but it would have been like a mini Death Star. Yeah, no, not something that would probably have just literally blown the whole Earth to smithereens like you see in the movie, but directed energy weapons, nukes. I mean, you name it. There'd be stuff there, and it would have been a floating platform that was always pointing at some point of the Earth that goes around and around and around and just sits there forever pointing at the Earth as a weapons platform. And so this got a lot of people's mouths watering about how nice of a thing that they could have, especially with some of this new technology that was in the background that nobody knew about. And yeah, you spend a lot of money on a space program, but you get there publicly. You make a small little public, basing. Yeah, there's something here, and then occasional trips to go back, and then all the while having daily trips or really all the time, your trips back and forth with your secret stuff to make it a powerhouse of military hardware. And so this was the type of plans that were going on before we went to the moon. And yeah, I know you hear about these scientists that didn't know if we're just going to sink in or this or that or that or that. But I mean, honestly, they knew the composition of it. They had some good ideas about what was going to go on, and they knew that whatever was there, they could problem solve and make it into what they needed. And so, what did happen when we went? Well, it's simple. We got told, is what happened. E.T. was there in force. It was absolutely there in force. And I know other people have said some similar stuff to this, but it is confirmed. This is absolutely what happened. And of course, E.T. being not like the real you won't see any real extraterrestrials other than our side, but they were in their finest get up and in force, and they said, "You're going to be tourists. You're going to see the sights, and metaphorically ride the rides. You get your cotton candy and popcorn, kick a couple things around, and boom, you're going to go home." And so that's what we did. We went there, we drove our little moon buggy around, had fun, collected a couple of rocks, and went home with our tails between our legs. Because we got told. This is absolutely what happened. And this is one of the reasons why the Russians didn't bother going, because they knew what would happen to us, and we were told just to be tourists, and there we go. And we spent a boatload of money on a space tourism program, basically, with some science, but really not all that much. They didn't care about the science and the samples as much as they went to the military base, and that was denied. So, epic failure. But no, this is another reason why you have the whole "we didn't go to the moon" conspiracy thing. It's because that in itself is disinformation, very plausible disinformation at that. And the thing is, I don't myself know of the videos and pictures if there was a need to fake any of that. I know that there were aliens out in space on the moon in force, but they were hiding just at the edge of the visible spot. I mean, from what I understand, it is possible that all the videos could have been real, just just not with the shots of aliens. But I don't know, maybe the aliens were there too much and they had to fake some of the videos. I mean, that's possible too. I mean, but what I know is they went. And about the videos, one way or another, I don't know. But yeah, we absolutely went. No question about it. And the whole thing about the space program going to the moon is fake. We never went to the moon. Yeah, that was disinformation meant to just cover the fact that we got told, and our tail was between our legs firmly as we were scurrying away, being just our glorified space tourists. And so when you have all this crazy stuff about, well, we did go, we didn't go, we did go, we didn't go, then you're debating that, and you're not debating what actually happened there. And this is the point. It's better to debate whether we went or not than it is to debate why in the world would we just spend all that money just to come back and get a couple rock samples. And that's the point of the disinformation. It's sort of take the discussion off of the relevant topic and bring it onto a different one. Yeah, that's the space stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, just a second. Next question. Okay, next question. Atlantis. Was there an Atlantis? Well, if you're saying was there an Atlantis that was this really, really amazing hyper advanced society here that just got lost with tons of like the modern type of technological inventions and this and that. No, there wasn't. There absolutely was not. 100% there was not. And the way that you could tell is, yeah, our side did feed some, nice stuff here and there, but what we do is get things that are at least somewhat within the realm of possibility of people that, of that, of certain technological levels, and they never had technology like ours. And I know you could see some weird things in the fossil records and whatnot, but basically, if you have a village that's Stone Age, we're not going to give them plumbing technology that you have in 2017 New York City or Chicago or well, probably there's better examples, I'm sure, but you're just not going to get that type of advanced stuff. What you're going to give them is things that are at least feasibly relatable to the technology that they already have, and yeah, a bit more advanced, but things that are doable, And sometimes that's pretty amazing stuff, but it is still doable. Things that they can understand and keep going with the resources that they have. Now, one of the things behind the Atlantis type of idea of this hyper advanced technology is, it takes infrastructure. It's always going to take infrastructure. And you say, where is the infrastructure? It's impossible to have one little bitty island with the type of technology that we have with zero infrastructure. You need mining. You need research. Look at how many materials are in, say, just like one computer. I mean, you need rare earth elements. You need gold. I mean, you need processing. You need farming that is better. You need, just say to make a school and have all those people there. You have to have farming pretty good so that you can provide for all the people that are spending the time just teaching and not farming as much. And the kids who are there in the classrooms rather than helping out on the farms. You need to provide extra farming for the people that are in the mines getting the rock that is turning into the minerals. You look throughout our whole supply chains, and in the modern world, how many of us are farmers? Not many. And the people that are have big machines and can get boatloads of food. I mean, just tons of food. I mean, look at the ancient world. How many people were farmers there? Well, I mean, pretty much you either farmed or hunted or did something, but the chances of that you were not doing something like that was, I mean, it's a lot slimmer of a chance that you were not doing anything that was farming related. So, yeah, it takes resources, it takes technology, it takes things that take space. And with as much space and, and advanced stuff, you would be able to see very, very clearly things being done differently, and not just one little island, but massive sections of the planet around that island. There's no way around that. None. You don't see the big infrastructure. You don't see signs of, like, very extremely clear signs of that big infrastructure. Then there you go. Now, was there actually a place that was lost? Well, there's been a lot of lost cities. I mean, there's been people move around. Desert swallows up cities sometimes, and occasionally, water might swallow up another one. I mean, but or maybe people just abandon it because the climate changed, or needs changed, or who knows. Populations move. But like I said, in terms of this hyper advanced thing that's just going to get lost, no, there was no Atlantis in that in that mindset. No. Okay, next question. How can you tell honest versus not honest people there out on YouTube and with all this known dissemination out there? And because there's the flat earthers, there's the this, that, and the other. I mean, there's the whole Gaia TV thing with the interviews, the remote viewing of a whole bunches of alien races. There's people that seem really honest. There's people that seem really not honest. There's people that will go literally through every line in the Bible saying it means that we need to destroy people, and there's other people who go the same lines saying something else. So how can you realistically tell what is what? Well, ultimately you need to have judgment. I mean, you just do. But here's some basic guidelines. One, there is no flat Earth. Flat Earth videos still might have some interesting stuff that's true as well, but there's no flat Earth. Period. If someone's doggedly ranting on about a flat Earth, then they're either corrupt or they've been duped by somebody that is. And chances are they're corrupt. But yeah, there are honest people that have just been duped as well. But okay. And about things like Gaia TV and remote viewing. Well, like I said, who do you think you're connecting to? You're not connecting to the cosmos or some random stuff. If you are a legitimate person, there's a lot of people that aren't. If you are a legitimate person and you're connecting, quote unquote, to aliens or to this or that, you're connecting to only one group, and it's the group that I'm talking about. If it's real, and if it's not real, you're just making it up, or your mind, or something. Maybe you're just having a day where you're just crazy. But mostly it's either made up completely, or they're communicating with us and we're giving them a story. Why would we give people stories? Well, simply because we're not going to give them the truth, period. The only reason this truth is coming out right here is because of political stunts on the other side that I will tell you about later. If it were not for the political stunts and the recklessness of a large number of people on the other side, there would be no need to give these videos out. So, now, does that mean that, say, videos from that are or would be bad or not worth watching? Well, it's not saying that. No, I mean, if you're given stuff, you're given stuff for reasons. You're giving things that are going to help in some way. Maybe it's helping with a chess game. Maybe it's help with confusion, because there's a lot of confusion that's intentionally put out there, even by our side, because one thing that can't happen is too many people get the 100% truth because they're just not ready for it yet. We're too violent. And the leadership of this planet is too violent. I mean, because let's face it. When I'm getting these videos out there, I'm 100. Well, I'm not 100% telling you the honest truth, but I'm as much as I can, considering that no one's going to be given 100%. But I'm giving you far and away a lot more. But I mean, look at my channel. Realistically speaking, it's me droning on and on and on and on and on with pretty lame pictures. I took the pictures myself, um, but it's not this fancy thing, and it's not something that anyone is in their right mind is ever going to listen to. All these many hours of me just blathering on. I mean, it's never going to get a huge following. But I'm getting the truth out there. I'm getting it out there so that it can combat some of the craziness that's gone on the other side that they need to deal with. Okay, but going back to Gaia TV, say for example, like Corey Good and whatever the other guys that deals with that he's works with all the time. Um, I'm not saying that he's not honest. I'm not at all. But what I am saying is there's a law. There's a law on our side. Is that you do not directly profit by charging people for information. Now, I know that is tempting, and I know how much work and how much sacrifice it goes into getting this type of information. I'm one of the first people who's going to know that. You don't know the type of sacrifice that I've had to make to get all this information. But there is a law. You do not directly make money off of charging people for information. Period. And so if you were getting a lot of stuff, then you're going to get less stuff. You might still get some, but you're going to get a lot less, and you're going to basically get cut off for a lot of what you've been doing. Now, I mean, you'll still have a following, and I know them. They'll still probably make some exceptions and get you some stuff, but it's not a thing to charge for your knowledge. And I understand the need of Gaia TV to take money to get going, but the thing is, our laws are very clear over there on the other side. It's very clear. You have information, you give it out. And you know what? The people that run newspapers, and Getty Images, I'd love to see their faces when they go on the other side and they realize there is no copyright law on the other side. They can use whatever they want. And you know what? Just for spite, once I get on the other side, I'm going to take every flipping single Getty image and plaster it all over the place and say, ha, look at you. I'm not paying a dime for all you stinking people. I never used Getty images. I think they're plain evil. I never touch them. I never go near them. But I know, I've seen people that have, not anyone close to me, but I've seen people that have that have gotten on the wrong side of their lawyers, and holy cow. No, all the pictures I use are my own pictures I took myself. Everything on this channel is some things that I did myself. Anyway, so going back to it, yeah, that's the law. Now, what about Patreon? What if people use Patreon? Well, that's more of a gray area. I mean, you're not charging for the video itself. I mean, as long as you're not charging, giving exclusive knowledge you don't give to other people, unless they donate. I mean, it's just like putting your hat out there. I mean, you put T-shirts and stickers and whatnot. That doesn't violate any of the laws. I mean, you can certainly, sell trinkets and gadgets and whatnot. Maybe you can sell, natural soap or something. Who knows? I mean, none of that would be going against the law on our side. But if you have like a Patreon page just to ask for money, just say I'm like putting my hat out there. I'm not charging money, but that would be more of a gray area. But my thinking is that that's going to be okay, probably, just simply because you're going to give the information free anyway. but the people that want to support you can still support you. And that's something that's more or less what I would do. I'm not going to make a Patreon page because let's face it, my channel on this side is not going to be ever that big, and on the other side, they don't go to Patreon. So, um, yeah, that's not going to be in my future. This is too small and too dangerous of a thing that I'm doing. But yeah, that's one of the things that you could tell is they're free. Um, and you can tell by what's their agenda. I mean, you could tell by how angry they are. Uh, there's, I mean, just going through a couple people that I know, Zach Hubbard does the gematria stuff. Um, I don't usually watch too much of his stuff, but he seems to be an honest person. I don't know if he is or not for sure because I just don't have access to that. But uh, my thinking is that he goes too much into sports. He has some good stuff about gematria, but you don't need to use the gematria to make money off of stuff. That's not the point of gematria. That's the point that our evil society uses gematria for, maybe. But you're not going to figure out consistently the evil people and their methodology, or else they'll change it. No, but Zach has made some okay stuff. Then you have other people like the Nibiru people. Oh, okay, that goes. Is there a Nibiru? Well, what I'm told is it's actually more of a dwarf sun, but I'm saying the way that you can look for it is the actual charts and graphs, not really the pictures. You get there's this, I forget what the video was, but it's the one with all the charts. That's the charts. The guy that does the charts. That's the way of really telling. The one that shows like the solar wind going the different directions. Those types of things, and the math, the things that aren't exciting, are the ways of telling. The ones with the pictures and videos and the strange things that's happening, not so much. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll get a good picture or video, but no, charts and graphs is the way to go if you're going to worry about any second solar wind stuff. Okay, then I don't want to go listing of too many other people because there's tons of good ones. There's people that deal with the faking of the weather control. That's good stuff to watch in general. You know, there's the Groxt. Oh yeah, nut. Um, some people that aren't very good will still be able to tell you a lot about the symbology and whatnot. They might, there's certain not interesting any people. There are going to be some people as crazy as a loon that are still going to be able to give you some good ideas on what symbology means. Because I'm not going to follow too much of the symbology. I'll tell you what, the 33 is and some of the other stuff, but that they won't have access to. I mean, but I'm not going to go over all that. There's no point. I get bored by it. It's just a game, and I'm not going to go on that game. Okay, but I've been rambling on and on. I think that's pretty much it for the questions right now. If you have more questions, let me know. I'll try to go into it. But of course, there's no comments on their videos yet because I just don't trust enough of you. But yeah, message me the comments, and I will put it in the video or just message you directly. Talk to you later.